Hainsworth from Calder Valley CLP. I will try and keep this short because I'm sure, like me, you're all gasping for a cup of tea. But I wanted to introduce this motion with a song lyric of a musician that I'm a very big fan of and who is a resident in the city of Sheffield, Grace Petrie, who wrote a song recently called The Best Country in the World, which was a masterful summing up of the state of Britain under 14 years of the Tories, in which he said, "We would fight them on the beaches, but the beach is full of shit." And I hope you will excuse the expletive, but I think that it is a story that is familiar to any residents of our coastal towns, particularly Bridlington, where at 3:16 yesterday morning there was a sewage discharge onto Bridlington South Beach. Now, in my home of the Calder Valley, we have a beautiful sort of walking, running, cycling route that goes between Sorby Bridge to Myvenroyd, and it runs along the River Calder. And I regularly go running along this route, and some days you can literally smell the river. It is so bad. And that is, as I say, no surprise, because the River Calder is the third most polluted in England. But we're not alone in the top 10, because we also have in Yorkshire the Aire, the Derwent, and right outside this building, the River Don, all within the 10 most polluted rivers in England. And the company responsible for keeping our beaches and our inland waters clean, Yorkshire Water, is abjectly failing in its duties. In 2023, there were 77,761 spills of sewage. In Ilkley, where the community took action to gain designated bathing water status, to jump over the hurdles that were put in place by DEFRA to make that happen, bathing is not advised due to the poor annual classification of the water. And in fact, if you go to Ilkley, there is the area in the River Wharf that you can swim. Just a few metres down the river, there are signs saying, "Do not enter the water because it is unsafe at any time." Now, Yorkshire Water paid 60 million in dividends in 2024, and it plans to increase the bills for all of us across Yorkshire households by 30% in the next 5 years. So that's £177 on every household in Yorkshire. Now, none of this is news to anyone in this room, and we know that something has to change, and we welcome the government putting in place the Water Special Measures Act. But we now call on the government to go further and to use those new powers to place Yorkshire Water in special measures with a view to bringing it back into public ownership for the benefit of the public and not profit, to increase regulatory enforcement